loves. So I wanted to bring you this quick word because it's really been resting with me for the last, I want to say maybe the last like 2 weeks around a famine. And I know that I don't know if you have been experiencing this, but I've heard a lot of prophets recently sharing prophetic words around famine. And I wasn't sure if this word was just for me, which is why I didn't share it when I first got it. But now I am more confident in the fact that this is a word for all of us. And so I wanted to share this, and I hope that you receive this prophetically and you pray on it to just hear God for yourself around it. So a lot of the prophets have been sharing that we are about to experience a famine in the land, and we, as in the world, that there's going to be a famine, and they've been warning around foods, right? And so stock up on things like beans, right? Be mindful and careful of the meats that you eat because they're being processed with different things, because it's becoming harder and harder to produce these items. And so that is not how I am receiving this word. So I do want to acknowledge that. Does not mean that they are incorrect, but I did want to share that with you, that multiple spiritual leaders are feeling in the spirit this sense around a famine happening. Now, let's say that they're not, I'm not saying this to say that they are wrong, right? Because I don't know what message God gave them. In the same way God gave them a message, He's also given me one. And so just because they are not 100% in sync does not mean that one person is wrong or the other. It just means how we are receiving it and the purpose in which God's going to use us may be different. And so I did get in my spirit a download around a famine happening. And I am getting it and receiving it from this place of we are currently experiencing a famine, or what feels like a famine in our lives through our situations. And the way that I am receiving it and hearing it is more so that this is a trial run, that a lot of us have been going through a really heavy season where we feel like doors are closing left and right, and like things are just happening and you can't get a break. And it's like, what's happening? I'm doing all the things. I'm praying, I'm fasting, I'm, doing all of the things that spiritually are right. And yet I feel like I still can't get a break. And in that, what I'm feeling is that this is a trial run. That's what I keep hearing. This is a trial run. That God is trying to build up our endurance within us to be able to sustain during the famine. So when it happens, His people who have chosen to endure during this time, to stay steadfast, to continue to seek Him, to continue to give Him the glory, the honor, and the praise, even in the midst of the storm, that this is our preparation season for what is about to happen in the world. And those who choose not to yield to it, those who choose not to persist through, are going to really struggle when the famine really does happen in the world. And so I wanted to come to you today just simply to encourage you, excuse the GPS, to encourage you with this word that what you are going through is preparation, and to not misunderstand nor recognize it, because He's using this situations, because each of our situations are different. He's using our different situations to get us to draw in closer to Him, to get us to pray more, to get us to seek Him more, to get us to fast, and fast in a different way, right? So that we can experience the different effects that fasting have on us, so that way when it's time to utilize it, we can. And when you think of a famine, right, a famine, there is no food. There's a lack of. And what is and when you think of a fast, it's abstaining from food. And so please hear this word as this is your preparation season to keep sowing, to keep doing good, to keep doing the things that you know to be true. He did not forget you. He will not forsake you. He hears your every cry. He actually wants us to make sure that we don't forget to cry out to him, because it is in our crying out to him that reminds us that we can never do this thing called life without him. And so again, pray over this word. Do not just receive it because I gave it to you, but pray over the word and allow God to minister to you. But I hope that it has encouraged you to recognize that the season that you're in, the situations that you're in, God's just using those situations to stretch you, to pull you closer to him, to draw you in. And we have two choices. We can either endure it, right? Because endurance makes us complete. That's how God makes us complete. I got a word for that. I'm going to actually bring that to us later from James. But it makes us complete. And so he is trying to get us to a place of perfection and completion in him. So that way, when the famine comes, when the famine happens, we are prepared. So stop thinking that you're going through what you're going through in your job and your relationships at home with family and all of that because God is punishing you, or God is, has forgotten about you, or any of that. No, God is trying to stretch you to your limit so that way you can be best prepared in what's about to come. Amen. All right, so I'll be back later on because it is Wednesday, so it's what's the word Wednesday. And again, I have a message from 1 John around endurance and how it is used to perfect and complete us in God.